Psalms chapter 144, verse 1. Blessed be the Lord my strength, which teach my hands to war and my fingers to fight. I want to give our praises and honor to Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Rakha, Kodash, forgive me the spirit, to do this lesson. In this lesson, I'm going into the Lord taught King David's hands to war and to fight. The Lord Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawashi, taught King David's hands to war and to fight. Okay. And when you read that scripture, well, first I want to say it's spiritual that it's Psalms 144 chapter. Okay. I've always thought about that whenever I read this verse. Okay. That it's the first verse of Psalms 144, being a spiritual number. But the point that I'm making is that when you first read it, your mind goes to just fighting first. Okay. Initially you go to, David took down a lion, he took down Goliath. Okay. And that's correct. All right. But there's an inner workings of that first that you need to think about. Okay. Because when you look at Psalms, who wrote Psalms? King David. Okay. So why did he write Psalms? For our learning. What do we learn? Okay. We learn how to war. Okay. Like he learned how to war. All right. Now let's go back. I'm going to get into that. Let's go back and read verse 1 again. Psalms 144. Blessed be the Lord my strength. Okay. Not King David's strength. Okay. He says, blessed be the Lord my strength. Okay. So it's the Lord in him. All right. Which teach my hands to war and my fingers to fight. My goodness and my fortress, my high tower and my deliverer, my shield, and he in whom I trust, who subdued my people under me. Right. Okay. So in Psalms, when you read, man, King David speaks a lot about trust, being contrite. Okay. Fearing the Lord. You read that in Psalms 34, Psalms 35. Okay. And other verses. Okay. But those are my favorite ones in Psalms that King David speaks about the fear of the Lord and the power of it. Okay. So the whole time, when you read about King David and you are wowed by the stories of what he's doing with the lion, with, just his power, that's not his, but it's Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi in him. Okay. All those different things happen because the Lord is working in him through the things that King David talks about in Psalms. Okay. Because he trusts the Lord. That's why the Lord works in him. His trust was on 100 because he fears the Lord. Okay, because his fear was on 100. He made his mistakes. Okay, when you read, but in general, on average, King David's fear of the Lord was on 100. Okay, when he did slip up, his contriteness was on 100. All right, is not the Lord nigh to the contrite? Okay, so when you talk about this first verse here, let's go back to it. Blessed be the Lord my strength, which teach my hands to war and my fingers to fight. The first thing you should be thinking is, how is that possible? Okay, it's not King David immortal. He is. Okay, he was in mortal flesh. He could die. He could get sick like anybody else. Okay, now real quick, let's go into Romans chapter 8, verse 31. What shall we say then to these things? If Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi be for us, who can be against us? Right. So now Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi is working in King David through those different things that David wrote about. Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi put the spirit on him to write these things for us to learn. Okay. For us to seek and be diligent. Okay. To learn about these different things that we read about, man. Like how these different men having so much power with Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi. Okay. It's right in front of our face. All right. Let's go to Philippians chapter 2, verse 13. For it is Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi, which worketh in you, both to will and to do of his good pleasure. Right. Okay. Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi has to green light it from the heavens. Okay. Then it works through us. Okay. So the different things that you're seeing that we read about King David and other men, okay, and different power we see that's been written about, it started in the heavens to be green lighted, okay, to come down into King David's spirit to play out on the earth. Okay? Period. Okay, so it starts with Yahawah Bashim Yahawashi. So do the things that please Yahawah Bashim Yahawashi, and you will see the fruit of it. David is showing you. Okay, so he's speaking about it. All right, all throughout Psalms, man, he speaks about it. Okay, let's go to Acts chapter 13. Let's start at verse 20. It says, and after that he gave unto them judges about the space of 450 years unto Samuel the prophet. And afterwards they desired a king. And Yahawah gave unto them Saul, the son of Cis, a man of the tribe of Benjamin, by the space of 40 years. And when he had removed him, he raised up unto them David to be their king, to whom also he gave their testimony, and said, I have found David, the son of Jesse, a man after my own heart, which shall fulfill all my will. Right, a man after my own heart. Okay, so it would make sense to really, really pay attention, okay, to all the scriptures, but in this topic, to really, really pay attention to David's writings. Okay, because I just read it in verse 22. Okay, I have found David, the son of Jesse, a man after my own heart, which shall fulfill all my will, after the Lord's heart. Okay, so when you read about trust, my fortress, my shield, okay, King David writing down how much he trusts the Lord, how much he feared the Lord. Okay, I'll be content. Okay, though my enemies are around me trying to destroy me, I will still keep my hope in you, etc., etc. All throughout Psalms, David writes about all these things. Ask yourself why. Okay, he's teaching you through his writings. He's teaching you how to get close to the Lord. Okay, and how to retain that level of power if you're spiritual and you're paying attention. Now, if you ain't paying attention, you just read and say, oh, man, that was a good Psalms. Okay. But you're not meditating on it. Okay. That light bulb, that fire is not turned up in your spirit. Okay. You're supposed to read Psalms and think about the different things and stories of David, of King David that he did. That was amazing. That had you in awe when you first read it. Okay. Because he didn't do it just because something happened in the spirit. There was a connection between him and Yahawah Bashim Yahawashi that took place. You understand? Now, we do understand that started at the beginning when he created King David's spirit. Okay. But the plan out thereof, okay, it started up there. King David did something in his spirit to tap into it. All right. That's the truth. Okay. Period. He tapped into the spirit of Yahawah Bashim Yahawashi. Okay, therefore he was filled with the spirit of Yahawah Bashim Yahawashi, which gave him the confidence to walk around and do the different things that he was doing, to speak like he spoke so boldly. So boldly. Okay, so to be able to hold that power, to grab that power, okay, to grab that sword, okay, and let it light up, you got to be able to handle it. All right, it reminds me of my thoughts go back to King Arthur when he was chosen, but he had to believe to retain that power. He had to believe and have confidence to move that sword back and forth and actually use it correctly. Okay, to use that power. Okay, make me want to go back and watch that movie, King Arthur. Okay, and eventually he learned how to use that power and he retained it. All right, and they couldn't deal with him. Okay, now that's a movie. Now, in real time, with King David, that's real. Imagine that, man. Imagine his growth. Okay? His growth wasn't because he was all strong outwardly. No. It was inwardly. It was inwardly. Figure out what that inwardly is. Okay? I just broke down a couple. Trust, fear, contrite. Okay? Those things, man, all in one bowl mixed up. That's how he was doing those things. That's how he took down the line. That's how he had, the confidence to talk that talk and walk that walk with Goliath while all the other Israelites were scared because of Goliath's reputation. Okay, so Lord willing, this quick lesson does not go over your head. Lord willing, I'll do a part 2. But with that, I hope you're edified. I want to give our praises and honor to Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Rakah, Kodash, forgive me the spirit, to do this lesson. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to Yaakam out there to do the truth in all sincerity. Shalom.